Hey guys, it's Roscoe, and on the Space Couch today we're going to be discussing Lord Vader in Rogue One, so there's going to be lots of spoilers. Stop now if you haven't seen the film. I do advise you to. It's absolutely fantastic, especially his performance in it. So anyway guys, that's the warning over. Let's continue on with the discussion. So, Mustafar. Wasn't expecting to see that. Very interesting, of course, because essentially Darth Vader is born on Mustafar, really, when he emerges from the fire, of course. Some images from the art of Rogue One here. We briefly saw this image and I didn't comment on it, of course, because it's Vader's castle. I'll just pop that in front there, you see, a bit closer. So yes, from what I recall, this is essentially what it looks like in the finished film. And my God, it's like something out of Mordor, isn't it? Yes, indeed. It was very interesting seeing Mustafar again. There's another great image here. Where is it? I believe this bottom one here, from what I remember, went into the film. And obviously, we saw this. This is essentially where Vader comes out of the mist, you know. But what was most interesting, of course, about that sequence was that we saw him like this, you know, in the Bacta tank, protected by the Imperial Guards, while, of course, he's trying to recover some of his physical injuries from what happened on Mustafar the last time he was there. Now, what I thought was very interesting is that we did see Vader unmasked. And thinking about it, this is not the first time we've seen this. Essentially, chronologically, I'll try and do it in... at the end of Season 2 of Rebels, when Ahsoka and Darth Vader are having their lightsaber duel, she manages to slice off part of his helmet, and we see his Sith eye, and that is when she can now hear Anakin, as he was, his thoughts, and she realises who he used to be. Now, obviously, we have also seen it in Empire Strikes Back, but before that, in the Star Wars comic, and I didn't actually get to show you this image the first time, unfortunately. There's so much I just kind of skipped right over it. After the Walker fires on Vader, he comes out of the rubble, and we see here his helmet floating towards us, and we see he is not wearing his helmet. The stormtrooper sees, he kills him because no one can see that. Vader unmasked. So yes, very interesting indeed. We also, of course, see him with his mask off at the end of Return of the Jedi. And I think there may be one other instance, I'm not sure. But it's interesting seeing Vader unmasked. It happens more often than you might realise. Yes, indeed. So yes, he's on Mustafar with Krennic. That was great and fantastic. He was in there, very menacing, of course, making a joke, you know, like, what's it? Don't choke on your ambition or something like that. But it was very good, and I liked Krennic said, well, am I in charge? You'll tell the Emperor? Not so easy for you. Now, of course, he makes another appearance in that film. And you know the scene I'm talking about. I would say, having seen the film once, that was without a doubt the best scene in the entire franchise to date. My God, wasn't it just something else? I mean, what was it? The dark hallway, and then the breathing, and you see the guys going, oh no. And then when the lightsaber went on, the pose he was in, my God, what an image that is. It was just incredible. And you can see the terror on their faces. And the way he went down that corridor, taking them apart, my God, that was the real Darth Vader at the height of his powers. Now, having said that, given how menacing and unstoppable he was, think back to Empire Strikes Back and when he has that lightsaber duel with Luke. He could have taken him out at any time. And remember, I will show you, in fact, when he first meets Luke Skywalker face to face. You know, in that corridor. Where is it? They cross swords once. He yanks him out of his hand, batters him down to the ground, and is about to just kill him, you know. And that was probably... It's only because the kid was carrying a lightsaber that it took him that long. He was madly curious, I suppose, and insulting about, you're weak with the Force, or whatever it was. But obviously after that, he finds out who that boy is, and it is his son. And that is why he doesn't just take him out like he does in Vader Down with an entire platoon. He wants him by his side. Yes, indeed. So yes, I thought that was very interesting, and it does all tie these things together when you think about it more deeply. If Darth Vader is so unstoppable, you know, how come all he did was cut off Luke's hand and then lets the ship escape at the end? There's more to it than that, of course, which if you're fortunate enough to have dug into some of them, you can and you do appreciate. Like, say, for instance, my reading of Catalyst really helped with my appreciation of Rogue One. Now, just about on Vader's castle, that scene that we saw in the trailer, you know, that is essentially referenced in this shot down at the bottom here of the hooded figure coming up. That character is an already established Star Wars character, although it's recast. In Return of the Jedi, you know, Emperor Palpatine, he's got like a little clique of advisors. There's that guy, the purple, who looks really pale, and there's a handful of others. Well, one of those, I forget which one exactly, who's called Varney, is essentially Vader's butler in Castle Hell. It also does just say about that, I'll read this out because it's interesting, it doesn't mention the world. Maybe this came out before the film. Vader's personal abode is an obsidian tower on an inhospitable world, Mustafar. It doesn't say that, though. It is by the Emperor's design that Vader lives in such an unforgiving environment. You know, Palpatine, he loves doing things like that, doesn't he? Vader's attendant, Varney, visits Vader as he meditates within a rejuvenation chamber, the Bacta tank. The stark, modern structure is built over an ancient castle full of dark secrets. And the reason I mentioned that is because now that that castle exists in Star Wars canon, whatever it's called, I don't know, it can be visited by other parts of the franchise. Star Wars Rebels, they've been to Mustafar already, and in the Clone Wars as well. You can easily imagine one of the season finales at Vader's castle with one or the other of the two Jedi, or however, three if you include Ahsoka, has been captured and imprisoned there. We might also see it in the Star Wars comics at some point, now that it exists. And also, of course, upcoming films, who knows? So some very interesting possibilities now lie ahead regarding Darth Vader and that castle and his abilities, of course. We've always known he was that good. It was incredible to finally see it for real on the big screen. It was, like I said, the best scene in the entire franchise so far. Good luck episode 8 and topping that one, because you've got a job of work to do. Obviously, I absolutely loved Rogue One, you know. I'd recommend it thoroughly to anyone. Go and see it more than once. I'm probably going to see it one more time in the cinema with my brother in a few weeks' time. And then, of course, it will be the Blu-ray where I can have multiple deep dives into it. And no doubt I will bring you some suggestions and theories that I've found once I've done that. Please subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this content. Leave me a comment suggestion for an upcoming topic you'd like to see discussed. Let me know what you thought of Darth Vader and that scene. Or like the video.